family laws. That, of course, the main challenge is the provision. This is compounded by the fact, and I'll be over soon, this is compounded by the fact that in the recent month we have seen a very frightening rise for the first time ever of Saudi-backed Salafi groups who have become incredibly vocal, incredibly confident, incredibly empowered, legitimized, so to speak, by their support to the Syrian revolution, at least part of it, definitely not all of it, not the revolution of the Democrats or the. This is also the other challenge is actually the deeply ingrained patriarchal mindset within Lebanon. Our current Minister of Justice has said in a public statement, which is documented in the media, that he doesn't see how can we talk about equality when women cannot change the wheel of their car? So that is the level of the discussion. And I will finish this by saying that no matter where they are on the political spectrum, there is a consistency in patriarchy, in anti-women, in not treating women as citizens. Lastly, what are our strategies? Our strategies are threefold. At the grassroots level, it is around mobilizing, it is around working with women on raising consciousness on the right to have rights, the right to participate, the right to be in leadership position, and the right to challenge the clergy, the right to challenge religious institutions. And of course, and that's my last point, the main strategy is to have voice, is to be politically active, it's to mobilize, and it's to have, it's actually to be there to keep these things on the agenda. Thank you.
Excellent, Lina. That's a time today. And in terms of that content. But next we'll go to Selima Ahmad, Bangladesh. Do you have a mic?
It's here. Selima.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate for bringing me here because for me, women's empowerment is very important because I come from Bangladesh, a country where 40% of people are below poverty and less than $2 a day, and a country of 150 million people. And here I am, where I could see Jui, a girl of 14 years old. When she was married at 15, she wanted to continue her studies, and her husband chopped 5 fingers because she wanted to study. I could see Monica. She used to be beaten by her husband every night. And then I could see Selima, Hasina, and other women who could come forward for economic reform and could bring changes in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, if I just wanted to give you a scenario of women, elected women members in the Bangladesh parliament, out of 300 we have only 19. And in the government position, there are 4,516 men, out of which we have only 696. But the interesting part, in the lower tier, we have more women, but when their post is about secretary, the highest position, out of 54, there are only 2. And when we talk about the business associations, when in the Apex Trade Group, we found that 1,988 businessmen, they are representing only 30 women. So we thought we should have a separate Chamber of Commerce. We formed the Women's Chamber of Commerce, which started in 2001. And we found that the challenges is for the women entrepreneurs or for women is that not having equal decision, not having equal rights at home, not having, knowing that they are human beings. Because men are the boss, men are the God, men knows to take any decision. And then, challenges come that we need to have more and more women entrepreneurs and more women into the economic arena. And we also found that lack of awareness and information is hampering the women's development growth. And also not having an equal right in the decision-making processes. Even which school your children will go, it's the father who will decide. What food you eat, it's the father who will decide. Even the food, mainly it's for the men, not for the women. But that's why we need to see more in the economic and political empowerment. Besides, we have worked in the area, the challenges, as I say, having more entrepreneurship skills, having more women into the legal entity, bringing from informal to formal sector. So we need to have policy changes. Besides, we have developed capacity of the women entrepreneurs in the advocacy effort. Because I think that's very important. Because as we need to address our issues, we need to lobby. And we need to have a stronger advocacy team. And also with Women's Democracy Network with the International Republican Institute, we have seen that women doesn't know their legal rights. Like our constitution gives equal rights to men and women, but they didn't know. They thought it's only the man has all the rights. It's not we are equal. The men are in the higher position. So my members came and they were so happy after the training. They said, "Oh, we are equal. We didn't know about it." Even they didn't know that girls couldn't get married before 18 years old. So one lady came to me and said, I was fighting with my husband because he wanted to get married my daughter who was 13 years old. But I couldn't find a ways to stop him. But now I say to him, if you do it, I'm going to take a legal thing. So I think for us, we need to have a group of women building their capacity to bring changes, bring laws in favor of ours, bring policies in favor of ours, and to see that we can address gender equality, human rights, corruption issues, and also democracy. I think democracy is important for everyone. Democracy can facilitate entrepreneurship, and democracy can give equal opportunity. And for that, women needs to be seen into the political and economic environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Selima. Next, we will hear from Soraya Hussein, Palestine. Soraya.
مرحبا، بدي أحكي بالعربي فشكرا. بدي أكون سريعة قد ما أنا بقدر من محناز وللكل مشان نكسر الوقت، ومشان هيك إذا بتسمحوا لي أنا ما أظنش إنه راح أكون أقسم بين إيش التحدي وإيش الاستراتيجية، راح يطلع عندي الاستراتيجيات مع التحديات سريعا. بدي في المداخلات اللي راح تلاحظوا بدي أحط نقاط سريعة. الحركة الفلسطينية النسوية الفلسطينية حركة قديمة من 1930 بدأت هي بالنضال، ومن أول يوم تأسست الحركة الفلسطينية. ¿Es mejor si hablo castellano? Sí. ¿Hablo castellano entonces? أكمل؟ أبدأ من الأول؟ سريعاً راح أحكي عن تحديات واستراتيجيات مع بعض، بدي أكون سريعة. بدي أحاول إنه كمان لا. Bueno, entonces ya, voy a hablar en castellano. Bueno, se van a dar cuenta de lo que en mi intervención...
English? We're not hearing the English translation.
In English? I'm trying in Spanish and it's not working also.
Spanish would make a difference.
English, okay. English, okay. In my intervention, I will try to be short and concise. So I will mention points. One thing. Another thing, you will bear with me and forgive me because I will talk strategies and challenges maybe all together. I will not divide them. In a very quick review to the history, the Palestinian women's movement is it's a historical one, and it is from the 20s, beginning 30s, the Palestinian movement, women's movement has been active. And since that day until today, we found ourselves that our actions, our movement for women's rights is very much linked with the national struggle. And it is in the national movement for independence that the women's movement was born. And it esteems the strength and the weaknesses, and it is a strange relationship, like the emblematic relationship, nationalist and feminist actions of the Palestinian women's movement. And this is one challenge, how to make our voices as for our women's rights, feminist voice within the struggle for independence. So it is the hub of the fighter in the national movement and of the women rights fighters. So this is one important angle that we go every time and now and visit: nationalism versus unmarried or divorcing feminism. As for the political participation for Palestinian women, since the 90s, we have two fronts in the political participation. From the 20s to the 90s, it was against Israeli occupation. From the 90s until now, it is continuing against the Israeli occupation for independence, but also claiming our rights within the Palestinian Authority. So it is a second front in front of us. It is as Palestinian women, but also as social movement struggles, because we also need our rights from the Palestinian Authority, even if it's not a state, but this is what we also claim. So it's two fronts in front of us. We try to work the political participation of Palestinian women in a more broad concept. It's not only elections, it's not only to vote and to be elected, it's not only to fight against the Israeli occupation. No, it is broader. It is to maintain women in the public sphere, to maintain us visibly with the high voice. This is political participation, because as we saw in the Arab changes that are happening surrounding us, one of the main objectives was to push women out of the public sphere. So this is our concept. If we succeed in helping, supporting, making women be more visible in the public sphere, this is political participation. When women who are always in their houses with their families, and she becomes active in the neighborhood committee, and she becomes active in a more broader way of her family, a little space, public space, this is political participation. So it is, we look at this concept from various angles. We also have been working since the 90s in legal reforms. We believe, after an agreement that was signed between the Palestinian Liberation Organization and the Israeli government, we believe that there was a government coming. So we were very active in legal reforms, and until now we are working to reform the legal, the family law. And we have a very good draft for the family law, also with the penal code. And we are very active working to reform the penal code the same. As for political participation in the traditional way of voting and being elected, or being also appointed, there are 6 ministers, women, out of 24 ministers, and they are very active ministries who are affecting and making a change there. We have the quota also. We have the quota, and it was gained by a strong civil society alliance with the women's movement. It was a very big campaign. Now we have the quota in the electoral elections for the Palestinian Legislative Council and for the local councils also. In both levels, we have the quota. We are organized by coalitions, unions of many different places. As for the education, we have a very small gender gap in the education, and we are one of the most educated populations. So when we see the gender gap, it's very small. But when we go and see in the market, it's very big. This is one challenge. Another challenge is in the kind of services that we are trying to provide, because sometimes the Palestinian civil society and the Palestinian women's movement takes the place of the government in the absence of the real government. We are a young society. This is why it is also very important. Just to maybe to